Hello everybody, this is Master Keyblade 3 coming at you with another video review. This time we'll be looking at the Power Ranger Samurai vehicle Zord, the Octozord actually, and with it comes with a Gold Ranger. Now I was able to find this just a couple weeks ago on Amazon.com for actual cheaper than I would find at like Toys R Us or somewhere. Toys R Us didn't even have any of these when I went there Monday actually to get something that I'll show off soon. So I was able to get this off from Amazon.com with only $4.99 one-day shipping. Luckily, because I was able to sign up for their Plus membership or whatever, and was able to get either free 2-day delivery or like $4 next day, and I chose to go with the next day. It cost me $4, but you know what? I got it the next day and was able to have this ready and going. Play with it for a couple days to get everything kind of right for it. So let's just go over we'll just be going over. So here we have the packaging. As you can see, we have gold. We have Antonio, or the Gold Ranger, in Mega Mode, which kind of don't. I'll talk about that later, and then it says Octozord right there, and Ranger Power Samurai, the Zord's action, the Spain action, how the kanji, all that light. On this side we just have the Mega Rangers again, but this time with all 5. Starting with gold all the way over, which kind of looks nice, cool. And on the other side we have the Zord builder system, which is different than the previous things, so which we have bikes, Megazord, and then the Octozord and shaded in. But then you're able to use it to make the Ultimate Zord with the gold and green spike for legs, and then the Octozord. And you know, it's kind of different looking on there than what it actually should be. And what actually looks good on there. And then on the back, you're able to shows the 3 previous ones: the beetle, the tiger, and the swordfish. Kinds of into the Battle Wing Megazord or so, and then plus the Octozord equals the Samurai Battle Cannon. And then also you can shows off what the combination with Samurai Megazord and the Octozord, and we'll get into what's wrong with that picture in the first place. Come back to that. And as it says, only on Nickelodeon and Power Ranger Samurai. Alright. So here we actually have the the Octozord and the Samurai and Gold Ranger. And the Octozord, you know, it looks decent and whatnot, but let's go over the Gold Ranger first. Can spin his wrist, but he holds it backwards like Antonio does and whatnot. That's how his fighting style is. So he's kind of like got a backhand way, holds it back, got weight, go 360 waist, and well, like I showed you, his wrist could go 360 if he was handled by his own body, and his head can go 360 as well, and this kind of seems a bit misproportioned up there. And then no arm on this, nothing on this arm, and of course 2 peg holes for. And I will be using the Samurai's Megazord sword as a pointer from now on. The actual 2-foot pegs right here for his feet. Now then, like any of these new vehicles, now he does spin like the original does. He does split like the original into 3 different parts, but a bit modified for this bits, and these are a bit more proportioned looking. And so this is where his wheel is. Of course, he has this whole extra piece that the original didn't, right here. And unfortunately, the disc is actually folded in, so you can't actually have him looking, you know, kind of like woo woo, like you did in the Shinkenger. But to get him ready to be ridden, you just got to fold these down, all legs down. And then just trying to keep it look nice, have it both the big tentacles go that way. And to actually place Antonio on there, you just gotta put one foot in and then position the other one. He may come a little, a little odd, but you know what I mean, warped in the legs. But then you can just go around and spin it like that. And there's Antonio riding his sword. Now just onto Octozord itself. You kind of position it however you want. Kind of stand on his own like that. Or you could just have him, flat down. Or then also you can actually, oh, that's for later. Sorry about that. Come in and hold that down. Kind of flip up his legs like that and just spin him yourself. Or you can just spin the top part a little. That works too. Oh, again, this thing just doesn't want to cooperate right now. And it's like Murphy's Law. Everything can go wrong will go wrong. But yeah, that's the Octozord on his own. And he's got green eyes, and of course, he can do this, with his, like the original, can have the squirt ink out or something. Now, onto his combination with the Samurai Megazord. And to get the Octozord ready, we're just going to unplug everything from him. Gotta remove this bit, and then for my own purposes, I like to, he has one little tab right here that comes out, but then also I like to kind of position it at like this kind of angle, just so it fits into the fist well, and then also still looks forward when you're needing it to, instead of being like flat up against it like this, because that gets in the way. So having it kind of angled like this actually helps it. Set that down. And then for the Octozord, now for the rest of him, in the back here, he has this like little tab bit right here that I'm assuming is for the whole, for when we get the ushi origami or whatever it's going to be called. I think that might be what that's for, not for sure, but of course there's that little hole there, and so you can't really move it well. Kind of clips right there for it. That could just be for that, we don't know. And then take off the top, or the head anyway, comes off, and then you can kind of see the bits right there, and then the whole mechanism's in there, like so. And then for this bit, just fold this back up forward, take this, and then angle these up, and that gets the and just like always, to get the Megazord ready, you just gotta remove the sword, put that to the side, and then come around and pop up the back connector. Now then, to actually combine these two, what you'll want to do is take the back, or the middle section with the long tentacles, and two tabs here, if you can see them, there we are, two tabs there, plug into the two holes there, two clips there anyway, and that are just, like I said, Murphy's Law. Plug that in, there we go. Thanks again. Now then, for the shield, just position it the right way with the two bits on the outside, and place that here in the ape's hand. Now this is why I told you to do it like this, because then it looks, flush, because if it's flat, it pops right into the lion's head, covers it up, and with here, it just kind of sits down, sits forward enough where it looks good, and then when you raise it up, you can actually keep it looking forward instead of totally flat like that. And then for this side, it combines almost exactly the same as the originals did, except we just only have the one clip that just clips onto there, no extra clip to plug into there. So just plug it into there, and if you want, extend the bit. And of course, unlike the original, this thing does not pop open with a button. You just gotta do it manually. And of course, I like to, when I just have it standing here in the Octozord Samurai spear mode or whatever it's called, the Octo Spear mode, whatever it's called. And that's just how I like to display it, you know, like this. Let's back up a little to get the whole frame in. Get it entirely in frame. And there it is. That's how that looks. Back close. So of course you still have the whole range of motion that the Samurai Megazord has, you know, 360, bring this up, do the final attack, in which then when they do the final attack, lightning collects back here, channels it toward the end of the Octozord's head, spear bit, and boom. And of course you can still have this, and if you can find any or are able to make any, you can actually probably make some effect parts to just plug into there, or just kind of snuggle into there and just kind of look like you're freezing the enemies. And alright, now I'll show you how to combine this with the Samurai Battle Wing. Just you'll want to remove its parts again, turn it into its different parts again, and then for the middle section you'll want to flip that back like you would, and then flip the legs down. I mean the tentacles down, pop them in, and that's all you have to do to have him ready, to have the Octozord ready. Now onto the Samurai Battle. Now for the Samurai Battle Wing, you'll want to basically take off the tiger's head, close that in, and then put the crest right back on it, like you always do with this thing. Now, unfortunately, you can't actually put it down like this, like you would with the original, but this will have to do. This does fine for itself. Then you want to take the horn, put that back on the Beetlezord, and then take the tail and put that back on the swordfish, and then land that upright. And flip that right back to normal. And then for these bits, you just want to, for the tiger's drills, you want to put them all forward, and if you can, and then for the actual, now you want to take the base that you put together and put the tiger's head, put the tiger right onto there, kind of line everything up, make it look nice, and then bring it over the tiger's head, and you'll see that there's these kind of like grooves in the side of the helmet that correspond with the Megazord's head. They also correspond with these grooves or whatever right here. You'll just want to line that up and slide that right on. Stays in securely. And then for the final bit, you'll want to take the Octozord's head, and then it has a little hole right here. It doesn't actually clip into here, unfortunately, but it does get its job done, and you just kind of put everything on there. Stuff will fall off. It's not put together real well. It's just all my friction, no clip joints mostly, like some. That keeps falling off no matter what I do for it. And there you have the Samurai Battle. There you have the Samurai Battle Wing Cannon. Now you can extend the Swordfish's nose and the Octozord's head fin to get that all looking nice and whatnot. Now this thing does lean forward a little bit. As you can see, it kind of leans down and forward at an angle, just because how it is, can't really be helped. And see that the the tiger's head just keeps falling off no matter what you do. I mean, if you taped it down, it might not move. But let's put these back, since I don't really like that look. And this always falls off no matter what I do. I've tried pinching it down just to keep it, you know, get a little tighter, but it just keeps warping upward and whatnot, and it's just becoming a pain. Oh well. And then just to show it, here it is with the Samurai Megazord itself, which, you know, it kind of seems in proportion. If we zoom back out a little bit, does seem a little in proportion. It does seem a little out of scale for the whole thing. Kind of how like the swordfish's tail's too short, and out of like the swordfish's tail's out of scale and too short. Same thing with the middle section here, the middle long tentacles. They're a little short. If it was just a little higher, or this was a little bigger, it'd probably all fit in real well. But since all these are a little shrunk down a little, it's pretty hard to keep look. But it does kind of have a nice effect. Unfortunately, they can't actually, in the show, in Shinkenger, or otherwise, they can't actually use the Samurai Megazord with this. It just, not how it is, because they need the 6 Rangers, and there's no 6 sword up here to keep Antonio in there. So, now, on to my final thoughts on this is, first, the positives. The main positive, it looks great. It fits in scale with everything. It fits in with all the other Zords. It's just, these are a little, fits in well. It's got all its details that you would want with it. Other than the fact that there's no, which we'll get into later, which I'll get in when I have it with the Octozord, is that this thing is, well, my only big issue is, well, you'll see later why I have a big issue, but for just, you know, for a kid, this is a good representation for the show. You know, it's cheap. It was only $12.99 for me, plus shipping on Amazon, which is pretty good, because considering I couldn't find it anywhere online, and all of on some of the online stores, they have it in stock, or they were totally sold out of them. So I was lucky enough to get this from Amazon for the actual retail price, or a little cheaper. In some places it's a little cheaper that way. But, and of course it's got, and like I said, it's got all your details that you would want with it. Then, like I mentioned with the when in the cannon form combination, is these are a little short, and you'll see why when we get into the whole Daikaio thing. I mean, Daikaio and Daikai Shinkano thing, since it hasn't been officially named in the show, and also we haven't had any new episodes since they were getting the black box in the show. So that's the only issue. And so, and of course, through all this ranting, just for recap, great for kids, collector. It's on the, you know, it's a good representation like the rest of them. And the only issue you might have is with this, and well, this thing comes into play later of how many issues it has for it. And well, that concludes my review of the Octozord. Next up will be the Octozord. I'm sure lots of people are excited about that. And I hope you all have enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great day. And this is Master of the Keyblade 3, signing out.